Welcome to Awakening Soul Truth. I'm Allison Ledbetter, and this is Robbie Short, and we are mediums, healers, meditation teachers. I'm calling you a medium.
I know, I just caught that. I am not a medium.
But you are so psychic. We're both psychics. We are very practiced in spiritual beliefs and actually living them. We spend most of our life contemplating spiritual thoughts, and we talk about them all day long. So
our friendship is pretty much wrapped up in spiritual conversations.
Every morning we talk about...
And I honestly don't know what I would do without you and a couple other women in this kind of circle of trust that we have, because I feel like women have been pulling a lot of the spirituality since the beginning of time. Thank you.
Yes.
And thank you, listeners, for being with us today. Please like, share, subscribe. We never say that.
So we love sharing these conversations with you all because I think we just want to expand this consciousness. So today...
We want to expand our circle.
We do! Today we're discussing the darkness, the fierce darkness that we're seeing in our world before the light. And the whole point of this is so you all know we are going to get to the light. There's always shifts. The spiritual realm, just the way there are shifts in the physical realm, like the poles shifting from north to south, there's going to be a huge shift in our consciousness. And that awakening process started in 2012. And well, at least.
Yeah.
And I feel like we are at the height of some pretty crazy darkness.
Yeah, and it's always darkest before it's dawn. And just think about that common expression. There's always light at the end of the tunnel, and we are in the depth of the tunnel right now. And it may become a little bit more bleak this year and next year, but keep having faith and trust the process that the light is on its way. It's actually already here, and that's what's exposing a lot of the darkness. And then once the darkness gets exposed and healed, then we can start to embrace more of the light and what it's going to be bringing and offering beyond that.
So we're
cleaning house right now.
We're cleaning house. So a great example happened here in Tennessee of some pretty serious darkness in our Capitol building yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday was August 22nd, so you can look it up and see a lot of the footage that's out there. But so many women, particularly mothers, concerned about gun safety because we had just had the school shooting covenant. Not that it had to happen here because it's been happening everywhere. Were showing up at the Capitol and holding signs and sitting in the sessions because they were about to vote on certain bills being passed. Instead of promoting more gun safety, they're actually promoting more guns by putting guns in schools. And these women literally were just sitting and holding signs. And they weren't even really being obnoxious about it, if you want to go back and look at the video to see for yourself. And they were getting escorted out of the room because they were holding signs. Beyond the subject matter, the fact that these sessions should be open to the public.
Yeah.
And
your
the public
should
be able to be there. And we elected these people, and so therefore they need to listen to the people who elected them, and they were not causing disruption.
I don't think our elections are free and clear. I don't think that's
I don't either.
True.
I don't either.
But the whole damn thing is...
I'm saying if you want to run with an argument, though,
right.
The people had the right to be there, and so part of the laws that they're creating is basically to silence the protesters. And protesting should be a part of our First Amendment, the right to free speech.
Now remember, you always have that free vote inside of your heart, and when you hold space for what you truly believe, mass consciousness and moving into 5-dimensional thinking is what's taking over. We're literally moving to the power of thought coming into form. And that's why these conversations are so important, because we're asking you to change your thinking. It's not about who was right or wrong down there. It's what's the higher perspective to support all of humanity, creating a loving, beautiful place.
And that is talking about the right brain.
Yeah.
Because the right brain is the more kind of feminine side, if you want to think of it that way, because the right hemisphere of the brain controls the left side of the body. The left side's the feminine side. The right side of the brain is the emotional, intuitive, seeing the big picture. It's more peaceful, euphoric side of the brain, creative. And the left side of the brain's the more masculine, logic, being analytical, computing, language, judgment, which controls the right side or masculine side of the body. The right side of the brain being that feminine quality, if we can bring this feminine quality more into our lives, then we are able to put all the cards out on the table and listen to everybody's opinion, and then be able to create something for the greater good for all, for the whole.
Ownership and
domination.
I'm better than you are, or I have to control you. Those are the characteristics, maybe the darker side of the masculine energy that we really, really need to heal. There's a limited amount of resources, therefore I've got to fight for them. That's an illusion. Even though Earth might have appearances of a quantitative amount, it's not the way we're designed. We're not designed to believe or think that everything is limited, because the divine and that inner world is so creative and always flowing and abundant. And when you move into the thinking behind like Joe Dispenza and all of these workshops about creating abundance, they're talking about creating in the mind first, holding space for the belief of love, holding space for there's enough, and attracting then to you your beliefs. So we are 100% behind this principle of holding love, freedom, grace, empathy, compassion. When we go into our mind and not into the tit for tat, who is right and wrong, we literally will be aligning with the new earth that is emerging. It's emerging if we like it or not. We can either go screaming and kicking and be really messy as we transition, or we can have a soft landing.
I think that's one reason why I'm not getting emotionally invested in a lot of things that are happening, even with what happened yesterday, at our capital, our state capital. It's like, yes, I can look at it and see the injustice of it and see what's wrong with it and have compassion for it. But at the same time, I am not going to get so invested in it that it's taking up a lot of my time.
Right.
Because I know that it's just something that has to kind of unfold, and it has to, we have to work through it. It's something that it's a natural process when you're going from one thing to something else. It's a natural process of the transformation or the metamorphosis, or whatever term you want to put with it.
Beautiful word, metamorphosis. Oh, I heard the best thing about metamorphosis too. In transitioning,
that it feels like you're dying in the process.
Okay, yes.
That happens too.
It does feel like dying in the process, but it's not like the caterpillar is worried about becoming the butterfly.
Yeah.
The caterpillar literally cocoons, goes inward, and emerges. I mean, I guess I can't definitely for sure say that the caterpillar's not worried about becoming the butterfly, but I'm going to assume that it's not worrying about it. It just grows into its potential.
Yeah, I heard a really great statement the other day, and I put this on our Instagram. No one yells at a flower just because it's a bud.
Yeah.
It's going to bloom, it's going to blossom, it's going to open.
Yeah.
And yet, as humans, as people, we tend to, really be our own worst enemy at times because we're not showing or at our fullest potential quite yet.
This is the process of patience and learning, and you just really allowed my heart to touch into something about children, that we really push children outside of their comfort zone and that natural process of growing and learning. Our education system fails tremendously in honoring a natural process. And I love teachers. I appreciate you so deeply. Don't take that personally. We've just institutionalized.
I don't think they do. I think teachers realize it. My mother was a school teacher. Two of my sisters were school teachers, and I've heard them have these discussions over the years about the state coming in and too much testing and what it's doing for children and what it's doing to the teachers. I mean, one reason they were ready to retire was because of how bad the system got.
In controlling.
And they loved their job. They loved teaching. They were all workaholics.
Yeah, because of the joy
My mother
of it.
only stopped substitute teaching after retirement because of my dad's stroke. She still loved it that much.
Wow.
That she was still working. Yeah.
I didn't know that about your mom. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. I was a teacher.
I know, Montessori's teacher.
I think it was a great way of
Which is very
teaching
different than
really.
our typical education.
Okay, we love and appreciate your evolving process. Please reach out if you need any assistance in that process. Shall we meditate?
Yes. Let's sit up nice and tall. I would recommend sitting for meditation instead of lying down, because lying down, our body has a natural physiological response to want to sleep. So if you can, or if you need back support, use a wall, use furniture, something where you're not just going to slump back, but something where you can stay seated and lifting the spine upright. Let's close the eyes. And take some deep breaths in and out through the nose. And if your passageway is clear this way, notice whether or not you're holding tension in your mouth or jaw. You can always stretch the face or create a fake yawn or do a cleansing breath if you need to loosen up. Let's focus on grounding ourselves into this present moment. Let's drop down into the body, feeling the surface that we're against. Feeling its support. And even the idea of the object, furniture, wall, whatever it may be, being something static, something firm, something physical that we could look at as being masculine, but yet at the same time, it's being supportive. It's holding the space for us, which is feminine. Even notice When you're sitting upright, there's a little bit of action involved to maintain this type of seat, which we could look at as being masculine. But at the same time, can you bring a sense of softness, a state of surrender into your being, which relates to the feminine? You can even look at the in and outflow of your breath, having masculine and feminine qualities. The in-breath, the drawing in, the entrance, being more masculine. And the out-breath, that release, the letting go, being more feminine. As you're bearing witness to the breath, also bear witness to what is happening elsewhere within. Maybe in your heart or emotional state, or maybe your mind and your mental state. Can you see the mind as being masculine, the heart as being feminine? And why it's important to merge the two, to balance the two into a state of harmony. Even now during this meditation, I'm talking, but can we stop and listen? Can we see the importance of the left and the right hemispheres of the brain working in cooperation together? Can we see the sensibility? Can we understand the wisdom that the divine feminine can be the birthing of the new earth? Bringing this back into relevance. So let's just sit quietly for a moment, watching the ebb and the flow of our breath, calming the fluctuations of the mind, and dropping into the fertile soil of the heart for these qualities and attributes to emerge and bloom. Perhaps affirming mentally within, I am embracing and embodying the divine feminine within. I am balancing and healing the divine masculine within. I am harmonizing and balancing the divine masculine and feminine together as one. And in this state of harmony, we are birthing the new earth. I am choosing to release any toxic masculine energy. I am helping to birth a new era, the new earth. We are loved and supported. Make that more affirmative. I am loved and supported. I trust the light has already won. I trust the process. Thank you for joining us today. Namaste.